fruit in whole form. So has fructose, but has fiber. So thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down for fruit consumption.
Fruit is fine. Fruit juice is not.
Great, thank you. White rice versus brown rice. And among the white rices, the sticky rice and the rices with added sugars, which you find in a lot of restaurants.
Brown rice because of the fiber. White rice, polished, number one, all the vitamin B1 gone. And, of course, a much larger glucose excursion. That glycemic index thing, which, of course, I hate, it's glycemic load that matters. And that is a very high glycemic load. So brown rice.
So brown rice is better than white rice?
Yes.
Okay, in a meaningful way?
In a meaningful way.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned tomato sauce. I love tomato sauce that's made from just tomatoes. Are most tomato sauces filled with sugar?
Perfect, our little recommendation engine, looked at this question, and it turns out that only 10% of the available tomato sauces out on the market don't have added sugar. So you have to know which ones. Well, you can look yourself or you can look up Perfect, and it will tell you which ones you can buy.
If people chose to consume bread, which many people do, is there a way to just across the board without just baking your own or looking at the ingredients list to make a better choice? Is it like sourdoughs tend to have less sugar than blank?
Well, sourdough has been fermented, so it will have actually consumed some of the sugar, so it would be a better choice. But really, the best choice is the highest fiber breads. Now, if you look at a wheat berry, it is 25% fiber. The husk is 25% of the weight of that wheat berry. That means that the carbohydrate to fiber ratio of a wheat berry is 3-to-1. So a good bread should have a carbohydrate to fiber ratio of somewhere between 3-to-1 to 5-to-1, tops. Anything above that means that they've stripped the fiber away. So that's something you could do, but the easier way is to actually look it up on Perfect.
You mentioned meat and meat sourcing, egg and chicken sourcing earlier. Maybe we just revisit that. Meat, fish, and eggs, thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down, or it depends?
It depends. It depends on where the meat came from. It depends on whether it was pasture raised. Depends on whether it's organic or not. If the animal was injected with antibiotics, stay away from it because those antibiotics are in the meat. They're going to basically sterilize your gut, and then the bad bacteria are going to take over. We haven't really talked much about the microbiome today, but that's a whole podcast all by itself.
Well, we can touch on it a little bit more. For low sugar fermented foods, thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down.
Fermented foods, short chain fatty acids, all good.
What are your favorite sources of fermented foods?
I like kimchi.
Yeah, I like kimchi too. I like some of the live sauerkrauts.
Yeah, that's also good, but with the right, accoutrement. Yeah. The one thing I would be careful about is yogurt. Okay, so there are yogurts with live cultures, and there are a whole lot of yogurts with dead cultures. And if it's a yogurt with dead cultures, it's kind of irrelevant, and the chances are they've actually covered up the sourness with sugar. So, large commercially available yogurt, be very, very careful. Okay, if it's a artisan yogurt, made by people you know or trust, that's a very different story. Yogurts with live cultures.
Intermittent fasting. Do you practice it, and what do you think about it?
I don't practice it, but I am for it for the right patient. Turns out who's the right patient? The patient with liver fat. Because the reason it works is because it gives the liver a chance to basically burn off the fat that it's stored.
0-calorie soda. Got it. It's definite no. And I don't even have to ask about sugary soda because
that's basically just poison in a can.
Food combinations. I have a feeling I know what your answer is, but the glycemic index, which we know your feelings on now, asserts that if you combine some fat with a sugary, like eating ice cream, you have a more blunted insulin response than if you were to eat pure sugar of equivalent calories. But what are your thoughts on food combinations as a way to blunt the insulin response?
Food combinations are great if there's some fiber associated with it.